Gentlemen, this is going to be quick. Ibrahim, beautiful day today, guys. And this video, please, guys, I want you all to help me. Let's share this until it reaches all the important people that it should reach. I know they're aware of what is happening in Sierra Leone, but I think we have to keep calling on that clarion, making that clarion call for them to hear what our concerns are. And by the way, I wasn't planning on doing a video today, but live. But I just had this book came, so I'm recommending, for a lot of you guys, if you haven't seen this book by Nehesi Coates, Between the World and Me, it's a great book to read. Once I'm done with the video, I'm going to be reading this book right here. But today, what I want to do is this, guys. I'm going to spin around here my camera, and I want to call today. My goal is to call on the governor of Arkansas. This is a plaque that I received because I was on a humanitarian mission. I was part of a humanitarian team that went to the state of Arkansas in the Ozark Mountains. And I was awarded this plaque at the end of my humanitarian trip out there helping the people of Arkansas. So this reads, and this is for the governor of Arkansas, because I want to call his attention to the problems that Sierra Leoneans are facing today. And by virtue of this plaque that was given to me, I want to use this privilege to call on the attention of the governor of Arkansas, to help the people of Sierra Leone today. I am a Sierra Leonean, an American Sierra Leonean now, based in the United States for sure. And when the governor of Arkansas and senators and everybody that's very important in the United States of America that are making decisions, Congress members and everyone, when they see this plaque, especially the governor of Arkansas, I'm using this privilege to ask the governor of Arkansas to come to the aid of Sierra Leoneans. I'm about to explain in detail some of the atrocities that have been happening to our people, but let me read this plaque. This plaque says, "To all who shall see these presents greetings. Know ye that the governor of the state of Arkansas, in the name and by the authority of the people of the said state, as vested in him by the constitution and laws of the state of Arkansas, reposing special recognition for the distinguished accomplishments, those hereby appoint and commission Sir Ibrahim Fofanah as an Arkansas traveler, who is hereby authorized and commissioned to serve as an ambassador of goodwill from Arkansas to the people of other states, the people of nations beyond the borders of the United States, or wherever this ambassador of Arkansas may hereafter travel or reside." Mark Martin was the Secretary of State of Arkansas at the time, and the governor was Asa Hutchinson at the time. So now, let me flip this camera back. Now, why am I doing this? It is my belief that today in Sierra Leone, our people are being ostracized. The democratic rights of our people are being upheld. They're being oppressed. Our people's constitutional and human rights are being violated. Our people's Geneva Conventional rights are being violated. Let me start from the most recent atrocity, the most recent massacre that befell our people. And I want everybody to listen. A beautiful town called Makeni is in the north of Sierra Leone. It is a very, quintessential town, bustling, full of vibrant and young people. And this government led by President Julius Maada Bio, for some reason, had money to buy over 30 SUVs, totaling of about $2 million, but did not think that it was important for them to buy a generator, which was less than $100,000. So this government had the audacity to go to Makeni to take their backup generator, and because the people who owns everything that belongs to a state, the power of the people decided to say, no, we don't want you to take our power. We don't want you to take our generator, even though it's a backup generator. The reason being, they've seen how the government treated another city from the east part of the country, took their generator, promised to bring it back, and never brought it back. So the people stood up for their rights, their democratic rights, the rights to protest. And nobody can determine how somebody protests. That doesn't mean people's lives should be snatched out from them punish, murder, and execute them just because they exercise their constitutional rights. The people stood up and said, no, you're not going to take the generator. And the government, in turn, already premeditated, had military members there, actually opened fire, live fire on unarmed citizens, and killed over 10, and the numbers keep going up. Apparently, maybe close to 20 people would die at the end of this. And they went ahead and arrested over 50 other young people from the town just because these people exercised the constitutional right. This is what is happening. So that is why I'm reading this to the governor of Arkansas. As an ambassador of the state of Arkansas, I'm using this privilege today to call on the state of Arkansas to come to the aid of the people of Sierra Leone. Our people are being oppressed. Our people's democratic rights are being taken away from them. Our people's human rights are being just totally decimated. Like the people cannot even speak up. The Constitution, section 25, subsection 1 says freedom of expression. People have the freedom of protection of expression, but not in this government of President Julius Maada. That is what is happening, and that is why I'm calling on the international community to pay attention to what is happening in Sierra Leone. Sierra Leoneans have already been through a brutal rebel war, and we're not looking for another war. But what this president is doing is poking at the opposition, constantly just looking for problems, just looking for trouble, instead of focusing on governing, elevating the lives of the people. The people of Sierra Leone voted for a change because they thought this president was a former junta leader back in the days in 1992 to 1996. They thought this guy would come and bring change because the people were tired with the previous party in power. Unfortunately, that's not what the people got. The people are being oppressed now. Sierra Leone is like a totalitarian state. We're living in an authoritarian state. There's a mob justice. The first lady of the country has actually said mob justice is the way to go. That's how you handle whatever crimes people commit. It has to be mob justice. People have to be beaten up. And we saw it during the lockdown. And don't forget, Sierra Leone is the only country that has a 12-month state of emergency because of coronavirus. 12 months of lockdown because of coronavirus. And yet the money that the government gets for the coronavirus does not trickle down to the people. They are holding this money to themselves. The people are suffering. People are hungry. People are starving today in Sierra Leone. There is nothing for the people. And then the little freedom that they should have to be able to express their God-given constitutional rights, they are being held against their will again. They should not come out to protest. They should not speak up about anything. People go after them. The government goes after them. And for 2 years, the president has sat back and allowed people to do whatever they want to do. He has not condemned any act of violence in the country. Nobody can produce any video, any audio of this president, President Julius Maada, condemning violence. Matter of fact, there are videos out there where it's clearly stated that politeness in politics is not necessary all the time. And nobody should be polite. He is the leader, he should be calm, but his supporters should go out there and cause mayhem. And we saw what is happening in Ghana, similar situation when the opposition came out to speak. Thank God at least Ghana, the opposition can come out and talk. But in Sierra Leone, the oppositions, they're so scared. Members of parliament and all opposition party members are so scared to speak up. And today we have the voice of these people in Sierra Leone. I live in the United States. I have this plaque. I'm using this privilege. I'm calling on the governor of Arkansas to help the people of Sierra Leone. I am an ambassador for the state of Arkansas because of my goodwill. Back when I went there on a humanitarian mission to help the people of Arkansas, we restored their vision, gave them sight. That was what we did there. So I'm asking the people of Arkansas, the state of Arkansas, the governor of Arkansas to come to our rescue. Please help us intervene to free our people. Our people are being oppressed in Sierra Leone. Our people's rights are being taken away from them, and they deserve their constitutional and democratic rights. These governments have violated the Geneva Conventions Acts and the laws of war. They violated the law of war. Military necessity was not even necessary for the government because they wanted to go take a generator that belongs to the people. They used the military against the people. Proportionality. The people were unarmed. There was nothing. They had nothing. Innocent citizens coming out just to protest their rights. The military had weapons of mass destruction to destroy these people. And indeed, they did that. There was no distinction for the military to be able to understand that these are civilians. These are non-combatants. And the human rights of these people were trampled upon. And still, at this present moment, they're holding the bodies of the folks that they killed. They're holding the bodies and the people are not able to give a befitting burial or funeral to these men that lose their lives. That is what is happening in Sierra Leone. And the thing is this, I want to call on the American government, because the MCC, which normally gives reports about democracies across Africa, and they've partnered up with Freedom House. They are the cause for all of these problems, because if they had put this government in check from the results of the last year report from the MCC, the scorecard, when this government failed when it comes to corruption, when it comes to democratic rights, and under democratic rights, we're talking about civil rights, we're talking about political rights. The government has failed in all those areas, but MCC, through Freedom House, they were bribing these people that they have in Sierra Leone, the Andrew Lavalis and the Vicky Rimos and all these other people, they were bribing them, and so the reports that came out passed this government with flying colors. And that is why this government of President Julius Maada Bio has continued to perpetrate harm and terror upon the lives of the people of Sierra Leone. Sierra Leoneans, Africans, across the globe, we were crying for George Floyd when he was killed. Charity begins at home. As Africans, we have to respect ourselves and treat our people right for others to see and emulate that example and say, this is how you treat Africans. But if us as Africans are treating Africans as animals in Africa, then what is the point? Why are we fighting for George Floyd? Why are we fighting for freedom for black people across the world? When Africa, the motherland, the home of African people, Africans are being treated and ostracized this way by a president who has been a dictator since time immemorial. It's like we were cursed to have him as a president. But today the people of Sierra Leone have regretted their actions and the decision to give this man the presidency. And that is why I'm invoking my privilege here. From the state of Arkansas, from the governor of Arkansas at the time, I'm invoking this privilege that I'm asking the governor of Arkansas to help us. I know America has its own issues. There are a lot of issues in America as well. But America has institutions that will take care of itself. Unfortunately, in Africa, the leaders, they take over the judiciary, they take over the legislative, so people have no powers. The president has all the powers in Africa. That is what is happening in most African countries. So we are calling on the world. We're calling that you guys come and help our people. Don't wait. ECOWAS, United Nations, the International Criminal Court. Don't wait. United States government. Don't wait until this thing boils down to some crazy tribal war or some war that, people start losing lives, helter-skelter here and there, before people come in to intervene in these situations. Now when these things are bubbling, when it's bubbling, it's cooking underneath, because this government of President Julius Maada Bio is pushing tribalism in that country. Because what they're doing is, people from the south, where the president comes from, they can do whatever. They can protest. Even the other day, they staged a fake protest at Bo, one of these cities, to say that, hey, look, people can protest. The government even went to the extent of eliminating the libel law in Sierra Leone that has been there for over 60 plus years. Just because they can use that as a linchpin to say, hey, we're doing this good. But at the end of the day, what's the point if you're killing your own people? So guys, I just want to ask the international community to say again, I'm invoking my privilege here from the state of Arkansas. From the state of Arkansas, I'm calling on the governor. I'm calling on the people of Arkansas. I'm calling on the people of the United States of America to help Africans that are being oppressed across the world. And Sierra Leone is that country. In May or so, we had over 50 to 60 prisoners were executed at Pademba Road prisons. Why? Because this government was actually trying to go after opposition members that were held in jail. And up to this moment, as I'm speaking to you, they are holding political detainees at the Pademba Road prisons. The American embassy is there. They can investigate this, and you can find out and ask them, and they'll tell you the facts. But this is what is happening in Sierra Leone. This is what is happening in Sierra Leone. The people are oppressed. We've seen the people of Mali and all these other countries come out to protest. But the people of Sierra Leone, of course, because we've had a war in the past, the people don't want any more issues like that. People of Sierra Leone are very peaceful. They don't want to have any more trouble. They're not looking for any more mayhem in their country. So they're trying their best to resist and hold back. That is what is happening. But this government of President Bio is taking advantage of that. A lot of people have died over the past 2 years. Within 2 years, we've lost over 200 to 300 Sierra Leoneans from the hands of this President Julius Maada Bio. By elections, there's even a constituency in Sierra Leone today that is not represented because this government has a minister, a whole minister of transport, actually went to the polling station and tossed the ballot box up in the air. And the people's votes were desecrated on. That's what this government is doing. They've shown violence from day one up until this point. It's been violence after violence. You go to Lonsar, same thing, violence. You go to Tombo, violence. You go to Tonkolimba, where they had that election, violence. You go to constituency 110, that is left without representation today in parliament, same thing, violence. Violence, people losing their lives, they're killing people. That is what is happening. Gabriel, get out of our bedroom. What is happening? Nobody's holding nobody accountable. The anti-corruption commissioner boss, of course, is a servant of the president. These people are not doing anything for the people of Sierra Leone. Nobody speaks for them, but we are the voice of reasoning today for the people of Sierra Leone. And that is why, again, I'm invoking my privilege. I'm calling on the governor of the state of Arkansas to help the people of Sierra Leone. As it says, as an Arkansas traveler who is hereby authorized and commissioned to serve as an ambassador of goodwill from Arkansas to the people of other states, the people of nations beyond the borders of the United States. And so Sierra Leoneans today are calling. And that is why I'm asking the governor of the state of Arkansas to come to the rescue of the people of Sierra Leone. They need your help. Our people are being oppressed and ostracized. Our people's democratic rights are being trampled upon. I know America is going to uphold the constitutional rights of its people. The rights to free speech. The rights to free speech. The rights to assemble. The rights to protest. Regardless of what the protest is about. There's no one that can stop the people from their rights. And I'm calling on the Arkansas governor, I'm calling on the American government, I'm calling on the International Criminal Court to hold President Bio accountable, to hold him accountable, not until 2023, because that's the next elections. That's 2 years away. How many more people are going to die before the international community comes to the aid of the people? How many more people are going to die before ECOWAS comes to the aid of the people of Sierra Leone? How many more people are going to die before Amnesty International intervenes? How many more people are going to die before the State Department intervenes into the issues of what Sierra Leoneans are going through today? How many people are going to die before we send ECOMOG peacekeeping troops to get rid of this president out of the country? Sierra Leoneans are done. We don't want this President Bio as the president of Sierra Leone anymore. Sierra Leoneans are done with this president. There's no peace in the country. There's no tranquility. There's no happiness. All around you, sadness. You have the party, because tribalism is what has killed Africa. And you have those party loyalists that are okay with their people getting killed. And they say, oh, they are rude. They are hooligans. They are lawless. That is why we're going to kill them. When these people are only exercising their constitutional rights. The Constitution grants that everybody has the freedom to protest. Everybody has the freedom of expression. You can speak up about what is bothering you. But in Sierra Leone today, if people speak up, they go look for them. They find them. They kill them. They execute them. That is what is happening. So I'm calling on everybody across the world to come to the aid of the people of Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone needs help. I'm going to leave this video right here. But again, I'm calling on my privilege here. I'm calling on the governor of Arkansas. I'm calling on the Secretary of State of Arkansas. I'm calling on the people of Arkansas to come to the help of somebody who actually went to Arkansas and helped out in a humanitarian mission to help the people of Arkansas gain sight, to see again. We did that for them. And I want to thank everybody that I met out there. I appreciate you guys. And I'm calling on you guys to share this with the governor of Arkansas currently so that we can help the people of Sierra Leone and rescue our country. Our people deserve better. We're not looking for war. We're not looking for any more confusion. We are backward in everything. No electricity, no running water, no proper education, no proper health care for our people. Everything is backward. People are looking for development. That is what they want. And that is why I'm calling on the international community to intervene before it's too late. I want you guys to have this video down on the records. Intervene before it's too late. Too many people have died under President Bio. In Liberia recently, President Opongwea did not kill anybody, but when the people of Liberia came out twice to protest, now he is in check. He's doing right by his people. And the same thing is happening in Mali. ECOWAS, they've gone there now to negotiate. What are we waiting for? What are we waiting for? Do we want Sierra Leoneans to continue to die? Do we want this president to continue to execute and murder as Sierra Leoneans before people can intervene? How many more people should die in Sierra Leone before the international community would release a statement? Before the International Criminal Court can release a statement? Before the MCC can release a statement? And make sure that this government fails in the next reports coming out in September. Freedom House, what are you guys doing? You are to be blamed for all the violence in our country today, because if you have reported everything right, people of Sierra Leone, the lives that have been lost would have been saved. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.